Flosstube friends. Welcome back to Little Annie Z and Mama Z. This is my mom and my channel, Little Annie Z on Instagram. And I just wanted to say thank you so much for all the new Stitchy friends that have subscribed and followed me on Instagram. Thank you for the shout outs. It's been so much fun meeting new people and just connecting with old friends. So I had a birthday this past week, and I wanted to share some fun things with you along those lines, and some continuation of what I normally share. So the first segment that I want to cover today in this Flosstube is my whips. So I have done some work on all of my whips, and I'm working on the Prim Stitch series by Lori Holt, and I've shown this bag before that I've got all my stuff in. This cute little zipper pull. So I have finished five of the 12, and this is my progress so far. So from the last Flosstube, I've completed that 5th block, which is called Beauty and Simplicity. This is, I'll talk about it as I show it to you. This is 25 count Prim Lugana, which is the called for. I'm using all of the called for Aurifil floss. That's a tongue twister. And I'm stitching this 2/2. And this is really so much fun. So I wanted to share my progress on the Prim Stitch series. And my next, I did want to mention, I've been looking at some hashtags on the charts that I'm stitching, and Red Velvet Quilts on Instagram. She also has a YouTube channel, but I think she just started this, and her name is Carrie, and she's got some fun things on her Instagram feed, so you might want to check her out. And then my next whip is in this bag here that I showed you last time. This is my Berry Bowl sampler, and if you remember, this is my first attempt at 40 count. And it is so much fun. I'm really enjoying it. Let me see if I can find, yes, so this is the picture of the Berry Bowl sampler. This is a collaboration between Heartstring Samplery and the Scarlet House, just a tribute of friendship. So I also have been searching for this on Instagram, and Sandra on Instagram, her Instagram name is IEL Crafty Mom. She finished this in November, and she stitched it all in one piece, and left out this center cartouche and put something else in using the Brenda Keys sampler motif book, and it's really great. If you're looking for some inspiration, go check that out. And I'll link all these Stitchy friends down below. If I can, I will try to do that. So these are I had to substitute some of the called for flosses, and these are my colors. I really love this color palette, and I have some floss bling on here. So what goes with a bowl of berries? a cup of tea. So I've got a teapot, cup and saucer. I got those at Hobby Lobby. And then this is a sampler that my mother-in-law did that I put into a cabochon and made some floss bling out of that. So this is my progress. This portion here I'm working on is on 40 count angel hair. I am really enjoying stitching all these berry bowls. So I'm going to do this the other half on another piece of fabric. I'm stitching this 1/2 on 40 count. So I said this is angel hair. And then I'm going to try to use this. This is Dusty Pink by Zweigart, 40 count. So I think I'm going to use that for the other half. We'll see how that works out. Some of the pinks might be too close, but I've got it in my bag to kind of remind me of my color palette and see if I can make that happen. I feel like I'm very close to the camera today, so you might be seeing the top of my hair. I'm sorry about that. I've got my charger plugged in and it's all good. All right. So my next whip is actually a new start. And I have this in a bag that I made with Kimberbell fabric called Vintage Boardwalk. I do have a button collection to go along with this, with these sunglasses, that I'm going to make a zipper pull for this bag. I haven't had a chance to do that yet, but the entire front is, I don't want to show the chart. The entire front is vinyl. And this is a fun stitch. Let me see if I can find the... So I am doing Brenda Gervais Stars and Stripes. I love this. I love that, those pomegranates and just that prim lady. So fun. So this is my color palette. I have had to substitute out some floss colors because I didn't have them all. So on my ring I've got this this floss drop that I printed out from Etsy. If you go to, I'm going to show you a little more about this photo paper that I've been printing these out on. You can hang your floss from here. I used a hole punch. The photo cube on Etsy is where you can download these images. They're very affordable and you can make your own floss drops. So this is my color palette. I've substituted out, I won't go through all the substitutions because I don't want to bore you, but I have substituted some of the golds, the gray, the blue, and the red. So if you want to know what I've used, you can message me. And I'm doing this on 28 count Oyster by Zweigart. Yes. And this is my small start. I am doing this 1/1. So it's actually, I just have a small start there with the stars. 1/1 on 28 count. That makes it 56 count. And I've got my magnifiers. I'm ready to go. It's really not that difficult for me. So this will be about a 5x5 size. So it would be a perfect little pillow. That's what I'm planning on anyway for right now. And I went searching on Instagram again, of course, to find some inspiration, and I found an amazing finish by Kathy Gainey on Instagram, and I will link her if I can. She finished this past summer, and she finished it on a washboard, but it was a really pretty washboard. I don't know if she stained it, but it's a really pretty finish. So you can go check that out on Instagram. So those are all my whips. And I have some FFOs. I did finish Ellen Barber 1895 that I was stitching with Carol Lee from Stitching is Elementary, and I decided to finish it on this basket. I liked this basket so much that I did 2. So I picked up these 2 baskets at Hobby Lobby, and this is a perfect. They're small enough that you could put them like on French doors. They have a little hanger here. This is a lamb's ear garland that right now they were buy one get one free, so I got 2. They were in the his and hers section at Hobby Lobby. And then I got 2 sprigs of the pussy willows and 1 sprig of those yellow, I think they're for Cynthia's. I put strong magnets on the inside of the basket so they can't be seen, so that I can do a magnetic finish if I wanted to. But even then, they're really not that strong. They're the strongest magnets I had. So I put a clip on there with a little ribbon so that I can hang pieces. So I just love this. Let me put it back here so you can see. So I modified this pattern a little bit. I did this with all the called for DMC on 32 count limestone by Zweigart, and it's a Lugana. I think it's by Zweigart, I'm not sure, but it's an even weave. I did it 2/2, and I customized it using our anniversary date. I put the church we were married in and the city. And so I figured that would be perfect for our anniversary coming up. So it's a super cute finish, I think. So that's Ellen Barber by Hands Across the Sea sampler. Ellen Barber 1895. Okay, hoping that doesn't fall over. All right, and then the next one is my birthday start. So I finished it this past weekend. It was a free chart by Lottie Da, and it's called Hand and Heart. I did this on 14 count vintage linen by Zweigart using Classic Colorworks Ladybug and Weeks Dye Works Pea Coat. And this is meant to be a scissor keep, but it is a great size for eyeglasses also. So I modified the pattern just a little bit. There were some little doodads that I didn't include, and then another scalloped edge down here that I did not include. This is a jelly roll piece from Bonnie and Camille called Sunday Stroll. I just made a little pocket overhang for this piece. The inside has another fabric from that line, and then I just did a quick little quilting on the back. So that was a fun start and finish, and that is Hand and Heart by Lottie Da. My next finish, my husband took me out to go antiquing and to a fabric shop north of us called Pickens Mercantile and Quilt Shop, and I picked up this fabric, and when I saw it, I'm not normally a purple person, but when I saw it, it just was amazing. So I made a little zipper pull with a butterfly and a purple heart charm on it. So I'm calling this one of my finishes. The lining is also from the same line, and so the line of fabric is called, it's by Andover 100 Years, Renee Naneman, Needle Love, if I'm pronouncing that right. Needle is Need''L. So this is a project bag. It was funny, I was standing in line and the lady behind me was asking, what are you going to make with that? And I said, probably a project bag. And my husband said, you've got more project bags than you do projects, because they're so much fun to make. So those are my 3 FFOs. I'm looking to make sure I'm not forgetting to tell you anything. No. Okay, good. So now I want to share with you, my mom and I went antiquing and out to lunch for my birthday, and I did get some Stitchy kindness, and I'm going to move into my collection editions also. So my friend, one of my co-workers, she made me this mother of pearl needle minder, and it's from her grandmother's, I think her grandmother's or her mother's antique button collection, and I just thought that was so thoughtful and sweet, and so that's part of some Stitchy kindness that I got. So I also picked up a glass frog, floral frog, from the antique shopping that my mother and I went and did. And it fits right inside this glass sugar bowl that I've had. And this is also vintage, probably from back in the 90s. I guess that's considered vintage. I don't know. At least it's not considered ancient or antique. And I collect these scissors, and I just love the way this sits on my bench next to my Stitchy chair downstairs. And so it's the perfect size. My mom actually found it. I told her what I was looking for, and she picked it up and she said, will this fit? I was like, yes. So the frog itself is not an antique or vintage, I don't think. But I love it. And then I had to get this. I fell in love actually with the color. And I think I paid for the color. It's this Robin's Egg Blue scale. I did some research, and it's from 1906. Show it. Oh, this is a very pale robin's egg blue. It needed some cleaning. It's obviously not the original color, but it does have a broken tile top. Let me hold it back here so you can get a good sense of the color. So I love this. It sits on my bookcase behind me and goes really well in my craft room. So that was something I was looking for. They had lots of scales there, but it was the color that I fell in love with, I have to be honest. All right, and then I picked up, when I went to that fabric shop that I told you about, I picked up another set of fabrics by the same line to make another project bag. So I love this color combination. So this will be the outside of the bag, and then this will be my lining. So those two fabrics together. And then I also picked up, this is from an Etsy seller. It's a honey bun, Garden Gatherings shirtings by Primitive Gatherings. I wanted to have a honey bun in my collection so I can pull from it if I needed to do some small cuts. Pre-cuts for me are the way to go, just because I have a limited space to do my cutting, and pre-cuts are very helpful for me. So I thought this was good to have on hand. So when I was at Hobby Lobby picking up those hanging baskets, I also picked this up, and it was on clearance, and I thought this would be a really cute way to display a Stitchy piece. It was on clearance for only $2.49. It was originally $9.99. It's wood, so I thought I'll just pick that up. I can, since I'm using the hashtag save the wall space FFO, that would be perfect to save the wall space. And then I did pick up some charts. Lori Holt's Stitch Card Set P. I thought that was super cute. I got that from Fat Quarter Shop. I picked this up on Etsy, Miss Bingley's Library from Plum Street Samplers. I love that. I used to work at a public library, and it was probably my favorite job that I've had in the past. And then I picked this up, Plum Street Antiques, Caroline Broomhead and Her Little Friend's Pin Keep, 1838. I really loved that tree and the bird in the cage. I'm not really sure how I'm going to stitch this. I haven't made up my mind if I want to stitch it in its entirety or break it apart a little bit. And then I picked up 3 Stacy Nash designs from Market. This is Faded Garden, Pin Keep Drum, and Needle Keep. I haven't done a drum yet, so I'm going to try to do that. There's the other side. And then this is a Bees and Birds sewing roll, biscornu, and scissor fob. And I've wanted to try all 3 of those. So cute. And then Birds of a Feather needle book. That is just so cute. So last, I'm adding to my Blackbird Designs collection, and I picked up the Summer Beaming Forth. I love that. And Clara Ellen. Adorable. So those were my my collection additions. And then lastly, I want to share with you something old and something helpful. So something helpful that I wanted to share with you, and I don't know if any of you are doing this, but when you have a chart that you are personalizing for somebody special, and you're not gifting it to them. So for instance, my mom and I did a Twin Peak Primitives stitch that I dedicated to my mom, and I don't have the chart here to share with you, but it's 2 women, and it was my very first sampler that I ever did. And so because my mom has taught me, you know, the love of all things crafts, I dedicated that to her. And I had intended on stitching it twice, but I just couldn't. I wanted to move on to something else. So what I did was I made a photocopy of my stitched piece, a color photocopy. On my copier, I just put the stitched piece face down on the glass, and I fed through, this is fabric, photo fabric. It's called Sew In Fabric Sheets, and you know, you get it for the type of printer. I picked this up on Amazon, and you use it for, what I was using it for was labels for the back of my quilts. My mother had taught me how to use this. You put a photo, so like my first quilt I ever did, I put a photo of my mom and I, printed it out on this and used it as part of my backing. So let me show you a close-up of this so you can see. Oh, I don't know that the camera will pick it up, but you can, it has that it has a linen look, a linen feel, it's textured, and it's the perfect thing to copy your stitched piece, and it looks just like if you had framed it, it looks just like a stitched piece. So I've been using this to give as gifts for those that I personalize my stitching pieces for. So I did a piece for my daughter and my daughter-in-law. I copied twice this kind of paper and gave it to them to keep as a kind of memory of a stitched piece that one day they can have. You know, when I'm long gone, I'm hoping that they will want it. And so I've done this with a few things. So that is something helpful that I've wanted to share with you. And then something old. This is a bedspread that my great-grandmother crocheted. It's too long to show you the entire piece, but my great-grandmother would sit in her window. She was actually going blind and still able to crochet later in life, and she crocheted this bedspread of different motifs, that beautiful edging. It is all done in one piece. No, I take that back. It looks like she attached the edging to it. So my grandmother's name, we called her Nona Jenny. I never met her because she passed away before I was born, but She had, that's my dad's grandmother. At the top, and the reason why I have this is because at the top of the bedspread, it is coming apart right there. I've got to join that back together. My mother kept this really well preserved before I inherited it, or was gifted it by my mom. But at the top it has my initials in it because my initials were the same as my Nona Jenny's husband's initials. And so in the summertime I will put this on my bed, and I do use it. We don't sleep with it, but I do make my bed with it. So I just wanted to share that with you. It is a big queen size, and I love it. It's a treasure. So that is all I have for you. Thank you for joining me today, and I will hopefully come back soon and share some more stitchy fun with you. Have a great day.